Welcome to part 3 of Spider-Man the movie, and right now we got Malcolm with us. Hey, Malcolm.
Yep. Hey, Malcolm.
Everyone.
He did miss the first 3 levels where we played as tacky suited Spider-Man or whatever, where he's just in time to witness proper suited Spider-Man. So yeah.
Yeah.
So Malcolm, since you're here and you weren't able to do this back in part 1, what was your first exposure to the 2002 Spider-Man movie?
For me, it was like a long time ago, but I remember very clearly. My friend Victor actually had the game on his PC. He let me play that, and it was oh my god, it was so much fun.
So you played the video game before you saw the movie?
I think so. Yeah, because I wasn't old enough to see the movie because I was like 5 or 6 or something.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Because the movie was rated PG-13, but the video game, oddly enough, was rated E for everyone.
Because PG-13 doesn't mean anything.
Hi, Willem Dafoe.
I mean, my parents took me to see Titanic when I was first born.
Are you kidding me?
They told me they just took me in the theater and they just everybody just crying their eyes out. I did not make a single. They told me I did not make a single sound.
Wow, you were hardcore.
Nah, not me.
But you've seen the movie though, right, Malcolm? Have you seen the movie? Malcolm?
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I told you I already I've seen this movie so many times. I mean, Spider-Man 2 is still the best, but I still love the first one because it's just so timeless.
Yeah, the first one is full of nostalgia for me because, as I said, this is the first superhero movie I've ever watched, so it's expected that I love this film. Yeah.
Okay.
So
sorry, go ahead.
So here, Spider-Man, instead of actually fighting crime, he has to do his job as Peter Parker, only as Spider-Man, and
Well, Spider-Man. Well. Ironically, Peter Parker was hired to be the photographer for Spider-Man, so he has to take selfies.
Yep. Yeah. So level 1, pay your mortgage.
This is actually level 4. But
It's level 4 technically, but and by the way, this is actually one of the demo. This is actually. And Seth, this is
one of the demo levels for the PC demo?
Yeah, on the DVD-ROM.
Sweet.
So, quick question: Does what was the guy's name?
J.K. Simmons.
J.K.
Yeah,
Simmons.
is he in this game?
She should be that was actually I was gonna say that actually. I'm so glad they brought every single actor who played in the movie voice acting.
Well,
characters.
actually, technically in this game they brought back Norman Osborn and Spider-Man and Bruce Campbell. I don't think they brought back everyone else. I think all the other characters were voiced by different people.
I felt like they were. I mean, maybe need to look that up later, but yeah.
I don't know what that thing is, but it isn't friendly.
Okay, so when I first played this level, I did not like this part at all. All you had to do
it is pretty awkward. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
So all you have to do is just destroy those hunter killers or HKs.
Hunter killers.
You have to shoot. You have to shoot webs at it and try to punch it if you can even aim and get there. It's pretty annoying. Yeah. This level isn't hard. It's just annoying.
Yeah, especially you have to avoid all those lasers that are coming towards you.
I do like it how this game decided to they decided to replicate the skyline of New York somewhat, because there's actually a building in this level that actually is real.
Also, oh sorry.
I'm one with the weird the weird half pipe roof. It's you're actually above it right now, but yeah, there's I did like this game. I do like one thing about this game. It does actually at least look like New York City.
And also one thing I do want to mention is that in this game, you're only outside New York City, you're only allowed to land on the rooftops, and you're not allowed to land on the ground. Because if you fall into the ground, then that counts as a bottle of spit and you die.
Yeah.
I don't.
Even though I can see a floor there.
Yeah.
Invisible. It's an
Also, is it me Is it me, or did I just see a writing in the sky that said chaos?
That's it. I saw that too.
Yeah, I saw that
Yeah,
too.
it does say chaos.
Chaos.
Why?
It's chaos.
The god of destruction.
God.
What the hell are they doing in this Spider-Man game?
Like, what is this? Like some kind of like new age movement done by a bunch of teenagers? Like, what's going on?
This is what the hell? What is Sonic doing in a Spider-Man game?
You're starting to remind me of Shadow759's old video.
Yeah.
Wait, which one?
The one with Jason Griffith Sonic acting like Spider-Man.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he tries giving the Spider-Man's Marvel vs. Capcom theme lyrics where he says like, I'm Jason Griffith and I'm here to save the day and all that.
Oh man.
It's kind of weird, but that's to be expected from the great Shadow759.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, going back to like the topic of J.K. Simmons, whenever I hear his voice, the first thing that comes to mind is Portal 2.
Wait, J.K. Simmons was in Portal 2?
Yeah, he was Cave Johnson.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
Okay.
So you know he's not allowed to go to cons anymore without getting crowded by a bunch of people just saying stuff like, "Oh, say the line, say the line."
Say the lemon line, please.
I don't really care about him in Portal. I just care about him as Jonah.
Yeah, but you guys just see the Shocker?
Yeah,
Yep, we did.
That's the next level.
In fact, let's talk about this. This is where the video game decides to pull away from from the main plot of the movie and just have Spider-Man stop all the builds. Actually, no. I'd like to think of it like this. Do you remember that time where Spider-Man started to become known as a hero and started saving everyone?
Yeah.
I like to think that these next levels are an extended version of that one tiny scene.
So basically, just an extended version of the montage, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Ah, good point.
Oh, that's one of my favorite parts of the movie, like the original Spider-Man. I love that. There's like people saying good and bad things about Spider-Man.
Yeah, it was a nice touch.
There's also like I think there was a scene in the montage version where it was kind of like cut down because of like 9/11 events.
But he's easy to follow.
I think it was.
Yeah, because like it must have been filmed like before maybe it was because it was like filmed before like the Twin Towers fell, so
Yeah.
things are just gonna get a little bit uncomfortable if they showed a little bit too much of the city skyline.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And here
which
we
makes
have-
sense.
And here we have Spider-Man teaming up with some security guards to stop some of the crooks and all that.
These
They look
security cards are about as useful as the cops in Inside Job, so they just go around twiddling their thumbs and just kind of do the law's job.
Like, security guards like, get the fuck out of here. What y'all
But he's
doing
really
here?
good at
And they
What
take
y'all
way
gonna
too
do?
they
What
take
y'all
way
supposed
too
to do
many-
here?
they
Yeah.
take way too many coffee breaks and just like to sit down eating donuts.
Wait, do these goons
look good. Y'all
Wait.
just here to make Spidey look good.
okay? Also, is it just me, or do the goons look like ninjas in a sense?
Kinda.
Actually,
somewhat.
yeah. Now that you mention it,
And there I was, surrounded by 15 ninjas.
It's ninja, as Will would say, because, the plural of ninja is ninja.
All right.
Yeah. I kept
So
saying
now you have to
ninja
say-
for some reason. Now I say ninja.
so now you have
Ninja.
to save this. Oh, sorry. But, now I have to save this random New Yorker who is more than likely cheating on his wife. So why are we even saving him in the first place?
Because
But,
we have to, and then there's a life bar for him.
because it's the right thing to do.
And if your ally dies, then the game is over.
Okay, fair.
Oh, by the way, Malcolm, since you're here, and Will's here, so Malcolm, what do you think of Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man?
Oh, he's wonderful, but his face is adorable and not so non-threatening. But yeah, and his voice too. But he's just so much fun looking back. He had a really fun time with this character. I'm sure.
He's fun as Spider-Man, not so much as Peter Parker.
Because he
I know,
mo-
he nailed Peter Parker. I think he nailed Peter Parker too. I think he did Peter better than he did Spider-Man. And for me, he had fun. He quipped a lot of Spider-Man, but he acted so much like Peter. like from the comics. It was just it was almost like unreal. I like that.
It wasn't a bad role for him. I just feel like that he like overall he was a better Spider-Man than he was a Peter, especially considering that we have 3 different Spider-Mans to compare
and three different three different Peters to be technical.
I mean, for me, Tom is still like the best overall. He could do both.
I agree.
Yeah,
How does this guy not know what's going on?
Yeah, he's talking to his phone like, what the hell?
There's explosions. There's shouting.
Yeah,
and now he's not even moving.
Yeah, but isn't that the dude you said was like probably cheating on his wife or some shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, calling up his wife.
Civilian safe for no obvious reason.
That was plenty of time to save him. He was
Yeah, like, why didn't he just walk out of the way?
Oh man,
Yeah.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson was about to squish him.
We did. We also missed one of my favorite gags in this game when he makes fun of the Crusher's design.
Oh yeah. So you must be cool, man. Padded Pete, Mr. Triple Ply? Oh, I got it. The cushion.
The cushion.
Oh,
The cushion. I'd love to see a villain called the Cushion.
Yeah, I love it because it's a very Spider-Man thing to do, and it was super in character. And in the Crusher's design is silly. So
it really is, yeah. It's probably one of the most generic villain designs you can think of.
well, it's not really generic as it is just bizarre that it's like he's like a quilted fabric.
It does look like a quilt or a pin cushion.
He's just wearing his grandma's bed sheets.
I would see that too.
I've seen more. You guys have heard? Actually, have you guys ever heard of like Batroc the Leaper or like the Trapster?
Oh no.
I don't think so.
They're like super obscure like villains. They're like throwaway villains in like the old cartoons. But like
I've heard of Big Wheel, but
Big Riddle.
Oh no! God damn it, Scott! Do you really have to bring that up?
Yeah.
But it's
Big-
Now look at Shocker. He doesn't look like a pin cushion. He doesn't look like a pin cushion.
So why did Will call him the Crusher?
you call it the Crusher, the Shocker?
oh, sorry, excuse me. Shocker, whatever.
Oh yeah.
it's fine.
Same thing.
I actually like the
Small, like-
I like the cushion much better.
The cushion.
It does look awesome. But anyway, that was part 3. Tune in next time when we see more of the cushions. Evil plans. See you then.
Ha ha ha. Moo ha ha ha.